So I believe that the strategic checkmate move that they cannot block, the low-hanging fruit, the trump card, the silver bullet, the 800-pound gorilla is the internally displaced Nigerians. My experience is that most Nigerians don't even know about it. Years ago, in 2021, the first time I went back on an investigative trip, I sat down with somebody purported to be a journalist who was connected to the administration, talking about IDPs. Oh, no. They're homeless, they're criminals, they're beggars, they're vagrants. They're just not IDPs. That's been the official party line that Buhari started and that Tinubu has continued. I have undercover video of a police chief who had ordered the demolition of a large portion of New Kuchingoro. I had him on video say, oh no, they're criminals, they're vagrants, there's no IDPs. Well, all you have to do is walk in and talk to them. The grandmother with the bullet scar through her arm, the scars on her legs, I mean, they are the living testimony. That's why they're being suppressed. They are eyewitnesses to genocide. Irrefutable eyewitnesses to genocide. That's why the government has sought aggressively to stomp them out. When I started doing this, I looked up and there is a published UNHCR, High Commissioner for Refugees, report on these. There's at least 6 camps in the FCT alone, with at least 30,000 IDPs in them. The UNHCR documented them, named them, the location, the situation, all of that in 2015. In 2021, when we circled back to them, say, hey, we're not, you know these, you reported it, now we're trying to help them. Their response was, there are no IDP camps in Abuja. And then contacted them directly on the phone. Oh no, there's no IDP camps in Abuja. It is a complete suppression and denial. Yes. And these people are being ground down, degraded, and killed slowly, smothered by their government on purpose to keep them silent. There is international aid. In fact, the very first time I got back from discovering this camp in 2019, I sat down with my friend who was a very high-ranking former U.S. ambassador. But he was more than that. He was career State Department. And he was ambassador in Africa. He was chief of mission in Africa. #1 guy in charge of rebuilding Iraq after the war. Top shelf guy. And I told him, well, we found this IDP camp and they need help with this. He said, no, that's not possible. He said, because if they're an IDP, by international mandate, the money is there, the mandate is there to take care of anybody who's identified as an IDP on Earth. It's there. All they need to be is them to be identified, recognized. And I showed him some videos and he went ballistic. And he's been passionately fighting alongside me with this ever since then. The government, all they have to do is say, hey, there's IDPs here. And the aid will come in. And there is legal precedent at International Criminal Court that is genocide. Right. By definition, clear and present, provable, irrefutable genocide charges can be brought against the current government and administration of Nigeria. And there's no defense based on what the facts are. So first, focus on IDPs because that can bring down this current regime right now. Well, it's also the right thing to do. I mean, God, they're predominantly widows and orphans. What is true religion? So A, their treatment is genocide. B, their testimony will unlock the greater genocide. You can debate, and they will, and they'll fight it in court. I mean, O.J. Simpson's glove, did it fit? I mean, there's ways to get off. When the truth is buried in mass graves, when the truth is buried under mountains of illicit cash and blood oaths and tribal loyalties, that will take some while to untangle what's happening in the North. But you have 4 to 10 million eyewitnesses that can take the stand. And that's so the rolling justice must start with the IDPs and then roll to the North. Also, we know the Bible says that the enemy, the devil, is defeated by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. The blood of the Lamb has been shed, and I believe it's the word of their testimony, not only in the natural, waking people up, shining the light, making sure the world knows exactly what's happened, and relatable, personal, like the young boy who had to drink water with blood mixed in it. They all have stories of that, atrocities. That will wake up the world and international tension, but it will also move the spirit realm in a way that's impossible to resist. This is how the gates of hell will not prevail against us, is the testimonies of these people. Another important factor, two more important factors at least, three. One is the government, because the suppression of aid to IDPs is a criminal act. They can suppress us if we go there trying to talk about genocide, right? Oh no, they'll debate and all that. We go there to talk about IDPs and raise support for IDPs. They can't touch us. I mean, I'm sorry, but the world is watching, and that's a crime. So it's a positive thing to put forward. Instead of debating them on semantics, let's just go to help these people. That's the true religion anyway, and they can't shut us down. Another thing, restoring them will require, I mean, it's a positive thing. We're not going to kill and drive people out. We're going to restore the IDPs. Of course, that requires driving them out and purging from them. For them to go home peacefully means ending all of this. So that's the powerful moral force that will drive the victory, is restoring these people. Finally, and this is super critical, Boko Haram means, despite what the Sultan of Sokoto recently said, it means Western education is forbidden. They recruit, in fact, when I met Miss Hannatu for the first time, this amazing woman that deserves a Nobel Prize, that's actually stayed in the camp. She was offered a job that would have gotten her out of the camp. She said, I can't leave while these children are still here and need to be taught. Amazing story, amazing woman. When I met her, and she's living in a shanty she built by herself in this hellhole with a sewage ditch and no sanitation, nor borehole, nothing. And I said, I'm going to tell your story. I promised her. I said, if people want to respond and help, what do you need? And she didn't say food, water, shelter, clothing. She didn't say sanitation. She didn't say medicine. She said one thing, her one thing that was important to her: help teach these children. Because with an education, they will have vision, they will have a path out of here, and they'll have strength of character to resist when the terrorists try to recruit them. And she knew that, and that's what she's dedicated her life to. Rescuing these children. The orphanage in Jos, 286 children, a husband and wife adopted just because they could, because they had to, and they've lived on faith for 10 years raising these children. They'll tell you, these children showed up wanting to get guns and go back and kill, and they would have. The statistics show at least 60% of them would have been radicalized. 60%. Now they're going back to rebuild because they've been loved. There's been intervention. Multiply that across how many? 4 to 10 million. Let's pick a number. Say there's 6 million IDPs. The average age of Nigerian is 18, and what I've seen, there's more youth than there are adults in these camps. So say there's 3 million youth IDPs right now. Say 60% of them are radicalized.
Okay.
How many is that? 1.8 million, something like that? Imagine in coming years if there's 1.8 million that are radicalized. There's no numbers. I mean, you're talking probably thousands, maybe 10,000 in the north. What if it's 1.8 million all over Nigeria? That's insane. This generation, the displaced generation, must have intervention, must be redeemed today, or there will, not only Nigeria is doomed, the world is doomed. They will have control over the resources. They will use it as a launch pad for global jihad. The battles for these children, I believe these children are living as refugees for the same reason Jesus did. Why? Because the devil knew their value. The devil knew his worth. The devil was afraid of them. So it prompted Herod to kill the whole generation.
Right.
The devil's trying to kill or radicalize a whole generation of Nigerian youth because he knows that is the vanguard of the kingdom come. That is for the fight. It's about the children. And so for those reasons and more, the winning strategy, the path forward, the godly strategy, the righteous strategy, the undefensible strategy is to focus on the recognition and restoration and the testimonies and the intervention in the youth of the internally displaced. I believe that has to be the path. That has to be the path. Anything else is going to be running in circles. So that's my opinion.